Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed, baby. Now, welterweight division, whole lot popping off in welterweight division. We hoping soon to maybe soon get undisputed one day, right? It's always far fetched when we get close to undisputed. But let's see what happens. We got but something that happened recently. Showtime Shawn Porter, right? Showtime Shawn Porter was also a champion in the welterweight division. Formidable opponent for everybody in close fights against everybody. He beat Danny Garcia, for example, in a close fight, but beat him. He beat wthis, who's the champion, WBA champion right now, in a close fight, but he beat him. He's lost to Errol Spence in a close fight, and I personally think we talk a lot about Errol Spence fighting people, but that one was worthy of a rematch, Shawn Porter and Errol Spence. Shawn Porter loses a close fight against Keith Thurman, lost that close fight against Kell Brook, right? So, Shawn Porter is a bad dude, but he's 31, 3-1 with 17 KOs. So he does have 3 losses and a draw. So, but most people want him right now to fight WBO champion Terence Crawford, 3-division champion. They want him to fight Terence Crawford because Terence Crawford pretty much can't get fights. So they offered Shawn Porter $1 million. He's like, man, get out of my face with that. And then they offered Shawn Porter $2 million, and he basically get out of my face with that too, right? Now, he's fought fights for less than $2 million, right? But pay-per-view came on the back end of that and stuff like that. So, you don't want to get in their pockets. If he says $2 million is still chump change for him because, hey, it is like what it is. You got to pay other people, right? And Terence Crawford is a big fight. Problem being is, though, Shawn Porter is not bringing a title, right? He's bringing, I'm Shawn Porter and everybody know I'm good, but he's not bringing a title. And hence your boy Terence Crawford not really wanting to fight him. There was boys. That's one reason. The other reason he's not bringing a title. Terence Crawford was undisputed at 140. He's trying to be undisputed. So I've noticed whoever he wants to fight is somebody with a belt. A la Spence or, of course, Pacquiao. But we heard just last week that Manny Pacquiao, just a few days ago, matter of fact, Pacquiao wants $40 million to fight Terence Crawford. I was surprised Bob Arum said, man, get the hell out of my face, you ludicrous. I don't know how they're going to be able to generate that kind of money with the pandemic, but he wants $40 million. We've documented it. Anybody go look at the Doma's top 10 pound for pound. I'll put it up there in the info. Check it out. I explain a lot of this stuff in the pound for pound list because Terence Crawford's in there, right? So Errol Spence as well. So check that out. And then, I explain a little bit more. But the bottom line is, this fight probably not going to happen. Well, not going to happen because Porter's not going to accept no $2 million. And I don't think the Bob Arum is going to pay too much more for that fight. So, I don't know. For me, I would like Bud Crawford to fight Manny Pacquiao anyway, because Manny Pacquiao is just the exposure, the credibility after the fight. And it's also a belt. Don't let it be fooled. They just gave the WBA belt to wthis. They elevated him from regular champion to champion because Manny Pacquiao was talking about he hadn't fought in a while, and then he's come back talking about fighting Conor McGregor, and Ryan Garcia in the exhibition. So, WBA was like, well, you can be a champion in recess if you want to do that, which is cool. It's Pacquiao. We don't even hear it. Pacquiao, 42 years old right now. He can do what he want to do. But it seems like I don't think he wants to fight Terence Crawford. I've documented that. That's why at $40 million. And other people, when he's talking about Spence, he's talking about things like, he's too slow for me. He's going to get obliterated. He was too slow for him. And then after the accident, he don't think they're the same either. So, he's saying, he'll beat Spence. He's never said that about Terence Crawford. So, I'd rather Crawford to fight him, right? So, because at the end of the day, if he's got the Pacquiao's the championship belt or not, he's going to be recognized as that because he didn't lose that in the ring to wthis. So a fight against Terence Crawford and Pacquiao is what I would prefer. A Shawn Porter fight, I will repeat. Terence Crawford probably, now that Shawn Porter is mandatory, he'll fight him. But the bottom line is the motivation for Terence Crawford is very simple. Look, I'm trying to be undisputed in this weight division, right? So I can be a 2-division undisputed guy. Ain't too many people done that. I think Evander Holyfield is the only one we could talk about. Other than that, it doesn't happen that you undisputed in two weight divisions. So that's what his goals are. So let's see what happens going forward. Right now it's hard to talk about people's money, which we shouldn't do in the first place. But that's just how it is nowadays. Some pay-per-view buys and all that comes into the fold, and we know about it. But at the end of the day, we can't say, hey, what he should take and what he shouldn't take. We can't really say that, because $2 million for us, like, hey man, go and take that $2 million. You can beat old little Terence Crawford. But his point, Shawn Porter's point of view is, I'm just worth more than that. Can you blame him? Shawn Porter's been in there with everybody. Not saying he beat everybody. Matter of fact, he didn't even distance himself. There's no separation between him and Danny Garcia, him Keith Thurman, him Kell Brook, and him Errol Spence, and him Ugas. But there ain't no separation there. But he's right in there, right? I beat a couple, and I lost to a couple, and barely. So, that's what should tell you about the welterweight division. There's not much separation there. That's why I want to see what happens when Terence Crawford gets in that mix with those ones that, he hasn't fought. He's fought some welterweights that's undefeated. But, people keep talking to him about, Danny Garcia and stuff, like he couldn't have fought him earlier, or Shawn Porter, or Errol Spence, or Keith Thurman, those names that he hasn't fought yet, right? So let's see what happens going forward. That's bad news, actually. We ain't going to get the Shawn Porter fight. It's bad news, but the good news could be, hey, maybe we can finally get Manny Pacquiao versus Terence Crawford. That's the fight we really want to see, so we can have the belts secured. And then when Terence Crawford fights Errol Spence, which we think is going to probably happen, when those two fight, that's the fight we all want. But me personally, I want that fight to be for undisputed. Then, that's when it's time to throw down with Spence and Crawford. Let's see what happens. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide, and I'm up out of here, y'all.